Forget everything you know about standard off-road trucks. What if I told you there are survival machines designed to literally laugh in the face of physics? Today we are tracking down the 10 most bizarre, extremely rare off-road vehicles on the planet, from a violent 8-wheel drive armored Leviathan to a machine that folds entirely in half to drop from fighter planes. You will not believe what is sitting at the number 1 spot, a vehicle so absurdly unstoppable it does not even have a steering wheel. It is crazy. Hit that subscribe button right now and stay until the very end to witness the ultimate off-road god. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a machine that proves extreme does not always mean massive. Meet the Ferves Ranger. Born in Italy in 1966, this little oddity is a Frankenstein of Italian compact engineering. It was cleverly built using the reliable engine and steering components from a Fiat 500, paired with the suspension from a Fiat 600. It packs a microscopic 499 cubic centimeter engine. This produces just about 18 horsepower. It sounds small, but its ultra-lightweight design makes it highly capable. Visually, the Ferves Ranger is delightfully weird and surprisingly functional. It resembles a tiny golf cart that suddenly decided to join the army. Quite funny. It features a completely fold-down windshield, minimal doors that look like they belong on a children's toy car, and a simple canvas roof. Because it weighs practically nothing and features an ultra-short wheelbase with a locking rear differential, it does not need to overpower nature. Instead, it glides effortlessly through muddy vineyard paths and soft, narrow agricultural estates, places where heavier modern sport utility vehicles would immediately sink to their axles. Now, here is a secret slice of automotive history for you regarding this tiny trailblazer. Despite its toy-like appearance, only about 600 of these were ever manufactured. This makes them incredibly rare today. Surviving Ferves Rangers are highly coveted by classic automotive collectors. It is the truth. They often fetch upwards of $40,000 at high-end auctions. It is the ultimate underdog of the off-road community. But if you think a tiny Italian vineyard crawler is unusual, our next machine takes utility to an absolutely ridiculous and completely explosive military level. At number 9, we are looking at the Faun Kraka 640. Hailing from West Germany in the 1960s, the name Kraka actually stands for Kraftkarren, which translates perfectly to power cart. This unique machine is powered by a 697 cubic centimeter BMW 2-cylinder boxer engine. It pushes out about 26 horsepower. However, the technical specification that truly matters here is not top speed, but extreme payload. It can carry nearly 2,000 pounds of heavy cargo on its flatbed, while weighing almost nothing itself. Seriously, imagine looking at a heavy-duty industrial go-kart that has been violently split in half. The Kraka features a completely foldable, articulating center chassis. That is right, you can do that. You can literally fold this entire heavy hauling vehicle in half, like a giant metal lawn chair for incredibly easy storage. Originally, this bizarre piece of engineering was designed purely for agriculture. It was built specifically to help hardworking farmers safely haul heavy, bulky loads of potatoes. It takes them down incredibly steep, dangerous, and muddy hillsides without losing traction or rolling over. But wait, here is where the secret history of the Kraka takes a wild turn. The West German military saw this folding potato hauler and had a terrifyingly brilliant idea. Very surprising. They realized they could fold it up, pack it tightly into a transport plane, drop it out of the sky with airborne troops, and then mount heavy anti-tank missiles directly onto its flatbed. They literally turned a humble farming cart into a foldable tank destroyer. From hauling crops to hunting armored vehicles, it is a historical anomaly. But what happens when your terrain is a bottomless Russian swamp? Entering at number 8 is the Trekol 3924. Straight out of Russia, this massive 6-wheel drive fiberglass behemoth looks exactly like a moon rover. It is heavily insulated, built specifically for the frozen apocalypse. It really is. It is powered by either a reliable ZMZ gasoline engine or a Hyundai turbo diesel, producing around 90 to 100 horsepower. It operates at a slow and methodical pace. The true genius lies in its ground pressure. The Trekol uses massive tubeless, ultra-low-pressure tires. They measure over 50 inches tall and exert barely any force on the earth. Look at this. Here is what that ultra-low tire pressure means in harsh reality. If a human being laid down on the hard dirt, this 3-ton, 6-wheel drive truck could roll right over their legs without breaking a single bone. The pressure it exerts on the ground is around 1.4 pounds per square inch. This is significantly less than a normal human footprint. Put yourself inside the cabin driving across the fragile Siberian tundra. You hit thin ice, it shatters, but you do not sink. The massive volume of air inside those tires acts as an unsinkable flotation device. You can literally float safely across a freezing swamp. You use the giant tire treads as water paddles, while staying perfectly warm inside the insulated, heated fiberglass shell. It is heavily used by Russian border guards, scientific explorers, and oil surveyors. They continuously cross fragile land that is completely impassable by standard heavy vehicles, doing so without destroying the precious topsoil. But while the Trekol slowly and carefully floats across frozen swamps, what if you desperately need to transition from hard land to deep water at absolutely breakneck life-saving speeds? Hitting number 7 is the highly engineered Gibbs Humdinga. This is not just a standard 4-wheel drive truck, it is a high-speed amphibious transformation machine, an extraordinary design. It was originally designed in the United Kingdom and built expressly for the most extreme rescue and tactical scenarios. Under the hood, it hides a ferocious V8 engine producing around 370 horsepower. On solid land, it operates exactly like a heavy-duty, highly capable all-wheel drive truck. But the true magic happens when this heavy machine reaches the edge of a deep body of water. Right now, when you hit the water, you simply press a single button inside the cabin. Within just 5 seconds, the massive wheels physically retract up and hide inside the specially designed wheel wells. Here is the massive so what factor for off-road fans. Most traditional amphibious vehicles are painfully slow, clunky tubs once they enter the water. However, the Humdinga uses its massive V8 engine to power dual marine water jets. This allows the heavy truck to hit remarkable speeds of over 30 miles per hour on the surface of the water. It was created primarily for rapid response disaster relief. Imagine a massive sudden flood totally wipes out the entire local highway system. Emergency responders can drive the Gibbs Humdinga straight off the broken, crumbling asphalt. Very spectacular. It instantly transitions into a high-speed rescue boat. It reaches stranded, terrified victims long before traditional trailered boats can even be safely launched. It is a stunning marvel of dual-purpose mechanical engineering. But before we get to our absolute heavyweight armor-plated monsters, we desperately need to ask a controversial question about the high-tech future of extreme off-roading. At number 6, we have a vehicle that completely shatters traditional automotive rules, the Audi AI Trail Quattro. This is a radical concept car from Germany. It literally looks like a glass helicopter capsule, securely strapped to 4 massive lunar rover-style wheels. It is fully electric and deeply futuristic, utilizing 4 completely independent electric motors. These motors push out 320 kilowatts, which equates to roughly 429 horsepower, alongside an earth-shattering 738 pound-feet of instant torque. Those are crazy numbers. The power is undeniable. Because there are absolutely no traditional solid axles connecting the wheels, the underbody is completely smooth. This offers ridiculous, unmatched ground clearance over jagged boulders. Visually, the cabin is almost entirely constructed of high-strength glass. It gives the lucky driver a stunning panoramic view of the rocky trail, straight down to their very feet. It is designed to immerse the passengers completely in nature without leaving any emissions behind. But here is the highly manufactured automotive debate that has purists scratching their heads and arguing fiercely in the comment sections. The AI Trail does not have traditional headlights mounted on the front grille. Instead, it utilizes 5 autonomous, roof-mounted drones. Unbelievable. The illumination is neat. When it gets dark, the drones physically launch. They fly ahead of the vehicle in a flock and beam bright LED light down onto the trail exactly like a science fiction movie. Driving with personal lighting drones sounds like absolute brilliant genius inside a pristine auto show pavilion. But if you want relentless, unstoppable industrial power combined with a menacing, aggressive real-world stance, you must look toward Eastern Europe. Taking the number 5 spot is a relentless North American powerhouse, the Fat Truck 2.8 pickup. Meticulously built by Zeal Motor in Canada. Specifically for the brutal mining and utility sectors, this unyielding machine is an industrial brute. While the name 2.8 refers to its massive payload class in tons, it is actually powered by a highly reliable, heavy-duty 2.2-liter Caterpillar turbo diesel engine. It pumps out a modest 134 horsepower. However, it delivers massive, ground-churning industrial torque. The pulling power is amazing. What makes the Fat Truck completely alien to everyday drivers is its unique, highly advanced control system. Imagine sitting squarely in the center seat of this massive, imposing cab. You look down expecting a familiar steering wheel, but there is absolutely nothing. You look for the standard gas and brake pedals, and again, nothing. Your entire survival, the complete control of this massive amphibious beast plunging down a terrifying 35-degree muddy incline, is completely dependent on a single, sensitive electronic joystick held tightly in your hand. Incredibly, you push the joystick forward to go, pull it straight back to stop, and tilt it side to side to steer. The Fat Truck is entirely hydrostatic. It does not just simply drive over thick mud, it violently churns right through it. If a massive hurricane completely destroys the local power grid in an impenetrable swamp, this is the exact vehicle fearless utility workers use. They use it to carry massive wooden telephone poles deep into the marsh. But as we enter our top 4, standard rules completely disappear. Brace yourself. At number 4, the mighty Guio Rescue commands absolute respect from anyone who sees it. Custom-built in Romania, this massive, sprawling, custom-made Leviathan looks exactly like a villain's design. Someone from a comic book built it specifically to conquer the frozen Alps. So cool. The appearance is striking. It weighs an astonishing 6,400 pounds, and it can be custom-equipped with massive V8 gasoline engines pushing up to 500 horsepower or high-torque, heavy-duty diesel engines. Depending on what kind of global disaster you are preparing to aggressively fight against. Visually, it is deeply intimidating. It features a massive, boxy, reinforced steel frame, extremely aggressive military-grade styling, and custom tires so impossibly large. They make a standard Ford F-150 pickup truck look like a small plastic children's toy. It is laughable. The size difference is real. The Guio Rescue is definitely not built for casual weekend trail fun. It is strictly built to boldly save lives in the absolute worst, most punishing environmental conditions imaginable. It can easily be fitted with thick rear tank tracks and a heavy steel front snowplow. It can even be equipped with a large floating air bladder securely strapped to its roof. Because of this, it will not sink completely in rushing, deep floodwaters. It can safely carry up to 11 terrified people through blinding blizzards or raging forest fires. In one highly famous demonstration, the Guio was showcased effortlessly towing a heavy, stuck military transport truck out of deep, thick mud, doing it as easily as if it weighed absolutely nothing. Phenomenal. The pulling power is top tier. It is a hero's chariot. But now, we move into the truly insane territory of 8-wheel dominance. Number 3 introduces the Mudox XL. Let us get one thing straight immediately. This is not a standard truck by any stretch of the imagination. It is a fully independent 8x8 hydrostatic land tank. Proudly built in Indiana, inside the United States, it is powered by a 57-horsepower liquid-cooled Kubota diesel engine. That engine output genuinely sounds quite small for a heavy machine, until you intimately understand exactly how that raw power is fiercely delivered to the muddy ground beneath it. You see, every single one of its 8 massive wheels is individually driven by strong hydraulic motors. There is no traditional geared transmission inside this beast. There is absolutely no shifting of gears. There is just pure, uninterrupted raw torque. It aggressively rips into the earth simultaneously from 8 different contact points. Extremely powerful, the rhythm is unstoppable. It completely steers exactly like a military tank, braking one side to sharply spin precisely in place. It brutally rips through thick adhesive clay mud that would instantly snap the fragile axles of a standard lifted off-road Jeep. Imagine you are operating deep in a completely flooded, overgrown forest. Fallen slick logs are everywhere. The Mudox does not drive around them. It slowly and deliberately climbs directly over them. The front wheels violently bite the wet wood. The middle wheels relentlessly push and the rear wheels lock in. Incredible! It is a phenomenal machine. It crawls directly over massive obstacles like a giant mechanical spider. It is heavily utilized by serious off-grid hunters. If 8 wheels hydro-locking through deep mud blows your mind, wait until you see the heavily armored Leviathan at number 2. Taking the number 2 spot is the menacing Land Tamer 8X8 XHD. That specific acronym stands for Extra Heavy Duty, and the American engineers who built this machine were definitely not joking around. Proudly constructed in the United States, this commercial-grade beast is powerfully propelled by a highly dependable 80-horsepower turbo diesel engine. But the engine alone is not what makes this machine utterly unstoppable in the wild. It is the impenetrable, armor-like body construction that completely sets it apart from every other utility vehicle. Pay attention to this. The massive lower hull of the Land Tamer is meticulously constructed entirely of thick, continuous welded marine-grade aluminum. It is quite literally a heavily armored, flat-bottom boat, securely resting on 8 massive, aggressively treaded tractor tires. The entire lower chassis is completely sealed against the punishing elements. Absolutely no sharp rocks, hidden jagged stumps, or jagged blocks of sharp ice can physically pierce the bottom of this machine. Perfect protection. Everything is calculated. It can routinely carry well over 3,000 pounds of vital payload straight through waist-deep, impenetrable wilderness swamps. It features absolutely no traditional suspension system. Instead, the massive volume of the giant tires completely absorbs all the violent physical shock of the jagged trail. It is incredibly brutal. It is unapologetically violent in its operation. It is specifically designed to completely replace expensive, delicate helicopters. It transports extremely heavy communication equipment to remote, storm-battered cell phone towers high in the rugged mountains. But even the mighty Land Tamer has to ultimately bow down, because what is coming next is the undisputed, unconquerable king of off-road extremes. Number 1. The supreme climax of extreme off-roading, the Sherp N1200. Just simply look at this machine. It looks exactly like a giant, angry, rolling washing machine wearing moon boots. Very quirky. It is funny but highly capable. It makes absolutely no standard automotive sense. But mechanically, it is completely perfect. Originally designed in Ukraine, this juggernaut is powered by a tiny, ultra-reliable 1.8-liter Doosan diesel engine, a small engine producing only 55 horsepower. But raw horsepower and highway speed are completely irrelevant when you are driving a machine that is virtually invincible. Now the Sherp does not have a steering wheel. It does not possess a traditional suspension system whatsoever. The custom tires are a staggering 71 inches tall. Those towering tires literally are the entire suspension system, and they are the flotation boat. Here is the ultimate mechanical so-what factor that breaks all rules. The hot exhaust gases from the diesel engine are brilliantly routed straight into the enclosed tire system. So clever, a brilliant invention. The driver can rapidly inflate or fully deflate all four massive wheels in seconds with a simple push button. Imagine you are aggressively driving up to a heavily frozen lake. The ice shatters violently. You plunge directly into the freezing dark water. The Sherp simply does not care. It easily floats perfectly level. You smash the heavy throttle. The massive custom paddles on the giant tires viciously churn the icy water. You eventually reach a daunting 3-foot vertical wall of solid slick ice. The Sherp does not stop. The front tires relentlessly grip the icy edge. The vehicle rears up wildly like a striking beast. It cannot be stopped. It forcefully pulls its entire weight straight up. It is an unstoppable off-road god. These 10 machines are not just quirky vehicles. They represent the absolute pinnacle of human creativity. They all share one incredible thing in common, providing real mechanical solutions to the most unforgiving environments. So, which of these bizarre machines did you find the absolute strangest? If you had the keys for one weekend, which one would you realistically want to drive? Is there a crazy off-road beast that I missed? Let me know below. Every week brings a new video, so hit subscribe and the bell icon. See you next time.